It's. Yeah, I always thought it was funny that I'm on a podcast with Scarfinger, but my mic says blue.
I mean, my mic does too.
Yeah, I know, but it's just funny. I just see Scarfinger and see the big blue.
It's right there.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yours is black and mine's white.
I have two black ones, actually. And actually, the only reason why yours is white is because it was the cheapest one.
Word.
At the time, it was the cheapest one. And the only reason why my first one was black is because at the time, it was the cheapest one.
Cool. Yeah, you have two black balls, I have one white one.
I'm not sure that is something you should really acknowledge.
So my microphone's here.
No, that's not what you said. You said I have two black balls, which is accurate. And you have one white one. That raises a whole bunch of questions about you.
Well, I'm sure I'm sure. You know what? We can end this race, the whole like race war or whatever, right here. Everybody's balls are the same color on the inside. It's the sack that's the color.
Everybody's everything is the same on the inside.
Yeah, that's
except for blue babies.
Blue babies?
Yeah. I just completely brought everything down. But yeah, blue babies. I'm pretty sure that they're kind of blue. A little bit. That means, they don't they're my girlfriend's grandbaby was a blue baby. She had a heart defect. And she wasn't getting enough oxygen to her heart. And, several surgeries and all that other stuff. And she seems to be okay now. And today, she is a grandmother for the third time.
Nice.
Just had a grandbaby boy, and his name is Silas.
Silas.
Yeah. I'm still wondering where the hell that name came from. Like, who names their kid Silas in 2018?
Silas sounds like a bomb video editor.
Or the house nigga. But luckily none of them listen to this podcast, so none of them will ever hear that. Yeah. But yeah, it does. It sounds like I got that Silas 18 is fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Speaking of video editors, this is sarcasm, by the way. This is just going to be a rolling start. I'm keeping all that. This is sarcasm, by the way. Chase is in the building, and we don't have a guest today. I was going to try to line up a guest. I now have two guests that I want to get on, but it's trying to work all that out.
Right, cool.
But what was I getting ready to say? Oh, speaking of video editors, I did finally record a video of me fluid painting. And
oh yeah,
and it is up on the YouTubes. I need to put it into the Facebook group, and because I started Facebook page, not the Facebook group, Facebook page, and so the Facebook page is Peace Through Colors Arts and Crafts, and it features the fluid paintings, but it also features some crafts that my girlfriend does. She posts, between last night and this morning, her and her sister did a few onesies for Silas, and she put those up, and a couple of other things that she's done, and we're just going to keep expanding that. It's moving far slower than I expected it to, but I think that'll come with the content. Putting more stuff up there. I'm probably going to put up week 2 for the contest, for the weekly contest up today. Now it hasn't been officially announced, but the winner of week 1 is the only person who actually followed the directions. And the only reason he followed the directions is because I corrected him when he put it in the wrong place. So shout out to the homie Ron Blocker.
Nice.
And he actually won the painting that he suggested. So when the contest is over, the rest of them are pretty much up for grabs. for me to ship them out. I did, for the last couple of days, I have been working on paintings for the homie Detroit Slasher.
Detroit Slasher?
Yes. He asked me to do basically a grayscale painting, black, white, and gray.
Mm.
And so I did 2 practice paintings yesterday. He liked the second one, but he said he wanted more black in it. So I did it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I did the painting, and I added more black to it, and it still didn't really come out very black. So
yeah. When you add black to gray, it just makes more gray.
Yeah. No, actually, the when I made the painting for Blue wanted a black, white, and orange painting, and I made that. And at first, if you look at, I posted 2 separate pictures in the Discord, and I posted it to the Instagram and the Facebook page, and when it pretty much ate most of the white, the orange pretty much ate most of the white.
Mm-hmm.
But the finished painting, some of the black, the dried painting, some of the black started to come back through, and it looked really fucking dope. But there isn't much white in it. And then I did the same thing with the black, white, and gray for Detroit Slasher. I did 2 different ways. I did a flip cup and I did a puddle pour. There's an explanation for that. I don't really want to do that today. But
before you go on, when you mentioned the orange, did you ever do like Clemson colors?
Why would I do that?
Just because, not any reason for Clemson or anything, but the blue and orange, I think, do look pretty freaking sweet together.
I thought that was purple. It seemed like it might be like a royal blue, like on the border of purple. I always thought it was purple.
Yeah. Well, aside from Clemson, blue and orange do look pretty freaking sweet together. I've always thought, but
I have used blue and orange, but with other colors, so not just those colors. I mean, I could do it. It could be fun. Suggest it into the Discord or the Facebook page, and it is something that I will do. I will take suggestions there, because it'll make it easier for me to remember to do it.
Yeah.
So I made that painting, and then the gray just completely ate the black and the white. There's very little bit of white. There's very little bit of black in that painting, and then I decided to flip cup it with the silicone and alcohol and all that other shit, and I just dumped a bunch of shit into a cup, flipped it, and I was like, damn, that looks dope. But here's the problem. I made it on a 12 by 12.
Just like a big square?
Yes. The boxes that I bought were for all of the 11 by 14s I made.
Oh.
So even if Detroit really likes it, I got to find some boxes to get it to him for the 12 by 12. But
right.
But so I'm gonna keep working at it.
12 by 12. That's like a record size, right?
Is it? It's quite possible. It's a 12. Is it? No, it's a.
Well, the actual. Well, I don't know about the cover. The cover's probably over, but the actual record, like the big records are 12-inch. 12-inch, 7-inch.
Yep.
The
yeah,
12-inch
vinyl. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. I mean, I ain't used a record in so long. Like, I know there's some people that are really into vinyl. The homie Chris Brown, Lefty Brown, is really into vinyl. I listen to Bomani Jones. He just got into vinyl. And stuff like that. So like and I know I got a few friends from the Where's My 40 Acres Facebook group. They're kind of into vinyl, but they're more not into like getting vinyl for like old stuff, but they like vinyl versions of newer things that they like.
Yeah. I mean, I like it too. Like, it's kind of weird that with the not resurgence, but the I guess with the resurgence of vinyl is actually because of, to me, it's because of we're going so digital, and so like a CD is like digital in itself, like it's got digital files on the CD.
Right.
So if you want to like say you really like that 13 Chambers, you can get it on Spotify, but you kind of want to have something.
You mean
so you get the record.
36 chamber?
Well, what did I say?
13.
I did I? Yes. Yeah, 30. I was just like spouting out just something like that you might want to have. Like because it's kind of cool. Because even if you won't listen to it all the time, if you're a collector, it's big. Like you get the big artwork, you get the big foldouts. It's CDs are like this little thing.
And the sound in general is warmer.
Yeah.
In a completely digital age, like a lot of people miss that very warm sound of records.
Yeah, and when people think of like a record, they're like, "Oh, well, that sound you get the popping and all that the popping and all that sound. That's from an old ass record with a shitty needle. If you have a good needle, a brand new record that's clean, you don't hear none of that shit. I mean, maybe a little bit at the beginning on the edge, but like once that clears out, I mean, it's like crystal clear. Like,
yeah, and it all depends on like how much money you put into it.
Right.
I know, like, Bomani was talking about getting into it and, having money now to actually really do it and going to a store that sold like record players and realizing that, spending a couple of G's on a record player is nothing compared to what's available.
Right.
I mean, there's like record players that are like $14,000 and shit like that.
Well, you also know what you're getting too, like, because there's some cheaper alternatives that are really good record players. Like, I mean, Audio Technica, like they're cheaper versions. I mean, they're good. Like, I would never recommend a Crosley, but because they're just crap. I mean, some of the ones that open up like a suitcase, some of those look cool and it'd be kind of cool to have. But I would never put a record on that thing. But
yeah. I mean, I would never have. I don't think I would go back. Like, I'm digital and streaming is everything for me. I don't think I want to go back because the last thing I want to do, and I just realized this with video games. Like, the digital future makes it so convenient. Like, it makes it so convenient. I was resistant during last generation for the digital future because, like, in order to see all of your games, you had to go to a separate place. But, like, the way things are right now, outside of the stuff that you add as thumbnails to your homepage, like, you always go to that list to find your games and you see everything. I had a problem with digital games, especially like smaller games, being like, I don't
just
see
buried.
Them. Yeah, I don't see them, and I see my big ass shelf with over 100 360 games, and like, I see that, and like, if I thought of something to play, it was because I could see it. It was right next to the TV. And like, okay, maybe I want to play some Borderlands today or something like that. But I could see that. And in the previous generation, it was a little bit more difficult. Just to see what just to see everything you have.
And on the previous generation, things didn't release on digital right away. That's right. Like Far Cry 5 releases on digital. I can download it. I can pre-download it before the game comes out and just start playing. You know what I mean? But the
only problem with all of that is the fact that there should be a significant difference in the price between something that you had to pay to press and to design and to ship to a store and I buy it, as opposed to the thing that you just put on your online marketplace and I pay for it.
Because that's how they need to, like, that's what I was about to get into. They need to, like, adopt the music, how music does it. Because, like, if you buy a record, I mean, you're going to spend anywhere between $15 and $25. But the record sometimes will have a digital code in it to download the album. And that comes with the record for you to put up on your shelf and display, and the MP3 download so you can listen to it in your car. You know what I mean? Right. So if you want to, it's for the collector and the convenience. But so a video game needs to, if physical media needs to stay relevant, it needs to come with a code inside the freaking thing to download it and to have your case or whatever if you really want to collect.
And here comes the first show title. They need to make a record player for your car.
And and another thing, what you were saying, what was the thing you were saying about how it's convenient or something? Oh, anyway, maybe I get to
the convenience of having the digital stuff there for
it was the price difference because
Yeah.
you'll spend $25 on a record, but you can go on freaking iTunes or whatever, and the most you'll pay is $9.99 for like an album with like 50 songs on it if it's like a double album. But because one reason some of the records are more expensive is in the fact that back in the day they had to fit all the songs on one record, so most of your records were around 35 to 40 minutes, to fit in that. So like if you get like an album that's like an hour and a half, that's not. I mean, you can just nobody thinks about that on digital because a lot of stuff can fit onto a CD, and you can have stuff for days on the MP3 because it's not having to fit on anything. But on a record, some of these albums are having to be like 4 records long if they press them on a record because
Yeah, and when you go digital, you can do like stupid shit, like how the singer / rapper Chris Brown just did. Do you know about what I'm talking about? Probably not, because I'm
other than like a thing.
Yeah. And he's in trouble again because apparently he had a sex party and a few women got raped. But that's like something new. But he just came out with an album, and it is I'm trying to figure out exactly how many. But he just came out with an album, and it is a digital album, and there is like 40 something songs. Okay, I don't know if any of these are interludes or whatever like that, but it looks like it's separated into 2 discs. Disc 1 has 22 songs. Disc 2 has 18. You can do that when it's digital, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy. I realized, especially when I had to move and I had to pack up all of my stuff and put it into storage and all of that stuff, I realized that I didn't really need those discs anymore.
Right. And another thing is like digital for music sometimes can be great in that way because like I remember, you probably don't know Godspeed You Black Emperor, but they're very soundtrack music. It's instrumental and they use a lot of different instruments and stuff. It's quite good. You might actually dig it if you like, because you listen to like the Mass Effect soundtracks and stuff. But it's a lot like that. Like,
but it's been quite some time. I like listening to soundtracks when I'm working on stuff or when I'm trying to write something and I have writer's block. Because like instrumental music is really good for that. Music without words.
Right, because their music doesn't have words, but sometimes it has talking. Like, because they record. Like one time, they just recorded some homeless guy on the beach of Coney Island, and like what he was like spouting out, they put over the music and stuff. But anyway, what I was getting at is that the album that I like a lot is called "Lift Your Skinny Fist to Heaven," like Antennas or something. But it was 2 discs long. There was 2 tracks on each disc. I listened to the first disc a lot because I'll be in my car, and then I hardly ever listen to the second disc because I'd have to change it out. So I couldn't listen to the album like in its entirety because it's on 2 different discs. But on digital, that shit don't matter, Right.
Absolutely. On digital, it doesn't matter at all. But like 2 songs on each disc, goddamn.
Yeah, they're 20 minutes long. Sorry.
Oh. You want to know one of the best soundtracks to listen to when you have writer's block? I always say this. I've said it before, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have heard me say this. People that have been around for a while.
Heavy Grains.
Heavy Rain.
Got them Heavy Grains.
Heavy Rain is the best.
Heavy Rain.
But you know, people come and go all the time, so sometimes you got to say some shit over again.
Yeah.
I won't dwell on it, but I really love that soundtrack as far as. Especially when I have writer's block.
Speaking of soundtracks, man, the Far Cry 5, like, I hope that they're at least nominated for Best Soundtrack of the Year because, I don't know, it's very, like, folky and Americana and whatnot, but the amount of production and thought that this dude put into that soundtrack is astronomical.
So it's not a licensed soundtrack?
Well, they do have licensed music in the game from like one of the Resistance radio station, but he wrote all the Cult songs. He wrote different versions of the Cult songs. One version, there's like 3 different soundtracks. One is the ambient stuff that's the score stuff. There's the Cult songs that play on the radio, and then there's the Cult versions of the songs that's like just an acoustic guitar and a choir. Like that's what you hear at like the Outpost and stuff. And they're so well done to where it really sounds like that shit, and it's really good. But yeah, the other station, you'll be driving down the road listening to Sexual Healing and shit. But so yeah, it's got a really good soundtrack.
What is your favorite licensed soundtrack in a video game?
I don't know. Saints Row 2 is really good, and the one Alan Wake is really good too. What?
There's only 2 answers to this.
Rock Band and Guitar Hero?
No, those don't count. There's only 2 answers to this. San Andreas and Vice City. Like you got to go one of those 2 places. Like those are the only 2 real answers.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Vice City had a really good soundtrack. But it's been so long, man. It's so long.
I never could get into Vice City. I just never could.
But that was my first entry into GTA was Vice City.
I think I played 1 or 2 of the top-down ones, and I never really cared. But Grand Theft Auto 3, also really good soundtrack, especially the hip-hop station. It's great. Rest in peace to Sean Price. But yeah, 3 was when I really like gave a shit. So, and then I ended up buying that game twice. I bought it on PS2, and then I sold my PS2, and then I bought it again when it came out for the Xbox. But it came with Vice City. Let me tell you, I sold my Vice City that came with. I didn't care about Vice City at all. And I know to some people that's fucking blasphemy, but I never really cared about Vice City. Like, I just never did.
But that was what I don't really know the story of that game, because that was the time when, you
basically Scarface.
You get GTA just to fuck around, and then so it wasn't until like 4 that I actually started paying attention to the actual story.
Oh no, I paid attention. I really paid attention to the story of San Andreas. That was the one that really hooked me in enough to actually finish it. Now I cheated. I kept putting in the health code to just get my health and my armor and all that shit back. So I finished it, but I finished it with codes. But I really did care about that story. The 3 was really good up until I got to a point, and I can't even remember where it was, but I got to a point I couldn't get past, and I couldn't get any new missions because it was the last mission that I had before, I'm guessing, I unlocked some more shit.
Right.
So then I just went to just fucking around until I got bored and then turned it off.
That seems to happen in a lot of Rockstar games, or there's this one mission that like just locks it out, and you're like, fuck this mission. Why did they put this in the game?
Yeah. And there's the especially everything pre-4. Mm-hmm. The shooting was so fucking terrible. The shooting was fucking horrible, and like any game where any Grand Theft Auto or any mission where you had to do a lot of shooting and you had to face a lot of people, it was almost instant death. Like, because you just couldn't do very much before you fucking died in those games because aiming was fucking terrible and all this other shit. So I think 4 started to fix the problem. 5 really fixed the problem, but that was
Red Dead really fixed the problem in 5.
No, actually, Saints Row fixed the problem, and that's when they realized there was a problem that needed to be fixed.
True.
Because after San Andreas, what was it, 2 Saints Rows came out before the next Grand Theft Auto?
A lot of shit came out before the next Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big gap between 4 and 5.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem with 4. I really liked 4, and I finished 4. I did do a health cheat also. But see, here's the thing: the cheat is like you get the number for one of your girlfriends, but like the But every time you used a cheat, depending on which cheat you were using, it turned off one of the achievements. So once I got that achievement, I ain't really care no more. So I just kept using the cheat. That was at the time when I still cared about achievements. But there's a guy.
What you care about is the story, man. You know, you don't really give a shit about this fucking. Oh man, or you're a cheater or whatever. I'm like, dude, I just want to see the story, man.
Yeah, I really. I finished all 3 campaigns of 4. I finished Nico's story. I finished Lost and Damned, which I still say is the best of the 3. And I finished Ballad of Gay Tony. I finished all of those, and I really enjoyed it. But I'm watching a guy play now, and he's playing for the first time, and he's streaming. I mean, putting the videos up on YouTube and shit. And I forgot how bad the driving is.
Yeah, it's terrible.
In 4, it's fucking horrible. But I realized that I came up with an easy fix for that. If I didn't have to take a specific car, I would always steal small cars. Small cars seem to handle a little bit better. So if I needed to follow somebody or chase somebody down, it was always better for me to do it in a small car. Because
I think I did that too, like that, and like motorcycles or something that could fit through. But all the freaking craziness.
Motorcycles were terrible until Lost and Damned fixed the motorcycle handling.
Right.
Motorcycles were fucking horrible until Lost and Damned. So I rode with the small car through most of Nico's campaign.
Well, we went kind of around everything. You have any life shit going on, man?
Man, it's just busy as fucking at work. Again, like I said last week, one of the people at my job who handles all of the interstate stuff, and she does that pretty much alone. Mm-hmm. She's on vacation this week, so like me and the other lady that are like basically the front office, we have to figure out how the fuck to do her job. And it really sucks because on top of her not being there and we got to figure out her job, we also have one less person that's answering the phones. And because right. and the busy season is starting. Like there's some days that are like totally booked already. Like for like surprisingly like Monday, the next 2 Mondays are like 2 of the busiest days that we have. Mm-hmm. So far. But the Memorial Day weekend is gonna build like so much. It's gonna be a problem. But so that's the case right now, and she doesn't come back until Tuesday, so we still got to deal with this shit through Monday. But here's the thing: the dispatcher is off tomorrow, also, and another one of the office personnel is off tomorrow, also. So we're down 3 people out of the 7 office people. So wow. Tomorrow is going to be a huge clusterfuck. I mean, absolute clusterfuck. But other than that, man, and the new grandbaby for my girl and the new baby that my cousin just had,
babies all over the place.
Yeah, I finally finished the Almighty Johnsons.
Nice.
So then I actually had some time to play some video games. I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm finishing this shit today. I watched like the last 5 episodes one night. I was like, nice. I ain't finishing this shit today. So I did that. I liked it. I thought the resolution of it was good, but it made me feel really sad. Like I was on the brink of shedding a couple. So like I was like, I thought it was really good, and I'm wondering how long it's going to be before someone steals the idea and make an American version of that show.
Which probably won't be long.
Probably not. Because you can really do this in different ways. Like you can always use different bases for the gods. Like what if you do it in America and then they're all Greek gods? Because the Greek, out of the gods' spheres, like the Greek gods are the ones that we know the most.
Right.
Greeks and Romans, because they're basically the same guys, they just have different names. So like the idea that this thing can be done and still can be done quite well. I'm interested in see what happens. I mean, if it was going to happen, somebody should have taken it by now. But yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed that show. And it actually had a proper ending, as opposed to a lot of TV shows that get canceled before they can actually really finish the show right. So it's only 3 seasons, but I enjoyed it every step of the way.
Cool. Yeah, my grandma hasn't been really doing too well. So, well, she's been in the rest home for a few years, and so she was on, she's had diabetes for, well, I don't know how long she's had it, but like, we found out like 10 years ago, or maybe like 12. It's like around 2005. I remember taking her up there. But yeah, so that caused like her kidneys not to do too well. So she was on dialysis, and then at one point she was just like, fuck this shit, and she ripped all that shit out and like was like, and I think it has something to do, because sometimes, I don't know if you know this, but like when like older people have like kidney infections or like urinary tract infection, it like fucks with their mind. Like there's one time she had a urinary tract infection, and she was like in there, like she was like, where'd Chase go? Like talking to my dad, and he was like, Chase ain't here. She was like, I was just talking to him, and she's like talking to me in there, and then and shit, or like talking to her granddaddy, and or there was one time she thought that police was outside just killing people, and all this was like spawned off of a freaking urinary tract infection. But yeah, because that's what's kind of happening. She like my uncle went to see her at the dialysis thing, and she like rolled over in the wheelchair so fast, like, Daddy, save me out of this place. And there was one time my dad, they went in there, and she was like naked trying to crawl up the wall, and
wow,
or like talking, and then it's like she's mixing different things up, because she was asking me about what to want to do with all that furniture. Like your dad's like changed the whole house. He got all this furniture. He boarded up the fireplace. He's having all these wild parties with all these women. And so it sounds like she's like mixing, because he was like, well, we boarded up the fireplace when I was a kid, like at our old place when we lived. And, and she knew that he used to party and have wild parties when he was young, like, in his 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. And then she knew that he got new furniture for the house recently. And so she's probably mixing all that stuff together and just getting super mad. So now they got her on morphine to calm down some of the pain, because she don't want to do the dialysis anymore. So I saw her Saturday night, and she talked to me for a little bit. It was really hard to hear. She was really tired, because it was like 8 o'clock or 9 by the time I got there. And then, because we were leaving Sunday to go to Hendersonville to visit Amber's family so they can see the baby and stuff, and we just got back today. So I did a 5-hour drive today, which was like, well, it's supposed to be like a 4.5, but I had the GPS on, even though sometimes I do that. Like if I'm on a long trip, I'll have the GPS on even though I know the direction, just because it'll tell me what time I'm going to be there. But this time I'm glad I had it on, because she redirected me around a wreck that was going to like cause me to be like 3 hours late. So I went in an area that I've never been to before, which that area was super country. Like, oh my goodness. It was, I felt like I was in Far Cry 5 driving through Hope County. But so yeah, we got back, and I visited her again, and it was still kind of like, I did notice that because she still had her food out and she was asleep. So I think she fell asleep after she ate, and she finished her hamburger and she drank her cranberry juice, which that was good, because that's one thing. She's super freaking picky. Like she pretty much just eats what she grew up with, like freaking country shit, And so she ain't gonna eat no freaking panini or something like that, you know what I mean? Right. That they'll serve like something healthy. But she has started drinking cranberry juice, which when she was still at home, we were trying cranberry juice, grandma, cranberry juice, because it flushes out your kidneys and shit. So, and she never liked it, but now I guess she's liking it. So that's probably keeping it going a little bit. So yeah, I don't know how much longer she's got, but my brother,
my grandma was kind of in a similar position, but it was her dialysis. Like if something happened, if there was like a holiday or something like that, and she skipped a day, man, the day, like if she went like if there was a holiday like on a Monday and she didn't have dialysis, so she went the whole weekend plus Monday without dialysis, she would be gone by Tuesday. Like completely gone. Like she would be talking about people who wasn't there, thinking that she was in places like her old apartments and all of this other, like it was just crazy stuff.
right?
But yeah, that would happen, and hers was diabetes and all that shit too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what it is down there, but I guess your bladder and all that stuff has some sort of link with how you think, because your kidneys.
Because it cleans your blood. Like basically, your kidneys filter out things from your blood system, and basically, if your kidneys aren't working, you're basically poisoning yourself.
Right. Yeah. So it gets like your brain's getting bad blood, so you're thinking weird shit.
Yes.
And my other we visited her like 2 Sundays ago, and we didn't want to take Riley into the nursing home because there was just some sickness and stuff up there, like some flu shit. So we wheeled her out, and my other grandma was there, and they were talking about shit that, like, because they used to hang out when they were little girls and stuff. They were talking about that, like sleepovers and things. And I was like, and that had to, because she's not as bad as Grandma Langdon is on my dad's side, the one that I've been talking about. Grandma Clifton is on my mom's side, and they were talking about stuff like way back, and they both kind of go in and out of stuff like that. So, and like how they remember that stuff. But I guess when you get older, and then sometimes with the kidneys and stuff, you get these memories back that there would be no way you can remember just trying to remember it, But yeah, they were talking it up about some sleepovers and stuff. But that was a good day. She was really talkative that day, but that was before the morphine thing. But the morphine's made her very tired and very calm, and But
I got you.
So yeah, but yeah, my brother's getting or graduating this weekend, and I'm going over to my dad's and watch it on some sort of streaming thing. But he's going to try to come down after he graduates because I mean, there's no way he can like reschedule graduation. So yeah.
Gotcha. That's one of the reasons why one of my coworkers will be out tomorrow, because his son is graduating from college. He is going to be a veterinarian.
Oh, nice.
And for a graduation present, he bought himself a horse.
Cool. Well, when the zombie apocalypse happens, veterinarians are only going to be the only doctors left. That seems like the only doctors in a zombie movie are veterinarians.
Right, because if the whatever made the zombies don't affect animals, like they're not really around a whole lot of people.
Right.
So it makes sense to some level,
Yeah. All right.
So do you want to move on to our consumption? I've already talked about the Johnsons, so ain't too much to talk about there. I've been talking to my coworker a lot about stuff that she watches, and she really wants me to watch a Netflix show called Rain.
How's it spelled?
Like rain.
Okay. I didn't know if it was spelled like like rain, like you're reigning, like a king reign.
No, it's Rain.
Because Amber used to watch some show called Rain, but it was spelled like a king reigning, which it was about like Queen Mary, but it was very like CW Queen Mary.
Okay.
so yeah, it had like like modern indie folk and stuff in it, and it was kind of a girl thing, but it seemed like decent.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it.
I kind of stay away from stuff like that. Like, I'm just like, nah, that might be a girl thing. Or it might just, it's not really like my era. Like I've never really been too high on Victorian era stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm just kind of out. Like I don't even know if that's Victorian era, but I'm just.
It's old Europe shit.
Yeah, old Europe shit. I've never been that hype on old Europe shit, except for like ancient. There's some ancient Europe shit that I'm cool with. Mostly like, you know, like I was saying before about the gods and stuff like that. The Greeks and the Romans were always very interesting to me.
Like Jupiter versus Zeus.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that type of shit. Like, yeah, I was always really high on that stuff. But I never really thought of like history as a career because I know that shit wasn't really going to take me anywhere.
Right. You go to school for history, you'll be a history teacher.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to like work in history, like discover new history. I mean, I guess you could, but if you're like an archaeologist or something, that's maybe the only thing. But that's something different than just history.
But outside of the thing that Blue was talking about on Facetious a few weeks ago about them finding like a lost city and stuff like that, like I don't know what archaeology would actually do for me. You know what I mean?
Other than like I found this shit and now I'm got a lot of more money.
Right. You know, it just I don't know. It just seems like one of those jobs where you're always in search of funding for your projects. You know what I mean? Like,
or you're like Indiana Jones and you're like in danger like all the time.
Yeah, in danger and in debt up to your fucking eyeballs, and you're trying to figure out how the fuck you're gonna make the ends meet because you know your fucking mortgage is due, and you're like, God damn it, I need to find fucking Tutankhamun, goddammit. You know, like that type of shit. Like, come
like
on.
all the shit that Nathan Drake found, did he ever really look rich?
Exactly. Well, I mean, he seemed like he had a decent little house in 4, though.
Well, yeah, but in 4, he was kind of getting out of that life.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. Speaking of CW, I'm like behind on all of my shows with the exception of The Flash.
Because you can just watch that in The Flash, so.
Really?
So what game did you said you played something? What would you play, man?
I played some Killing Floor. I played just a couple of regular rounds, and then I also played a little bit more of Frostpunk. I have, you know, time has just been really short because of what's happening at work. By the time I get home, like, I don't really want to do anything. So I just sit down, turn my brain off, and just watch some fucking TV or some YouTube or some shit. But I did play some Killing Floor. I tried to do the weekly, and I had a good group, and we were just blitzing through all of the rounds of the weekly. Except for every time we got to the boss, it was always King Flesh Pound, and he always killed all of us one by one, just fucking us up.
But you're playing on like super hard, right?
Well, the weekly is Beefcake, where they gradually get larger and stronger. And it's on Suicidal.
Suicidal Beefcake.
Suicidal Beefcake, which used to be my stripper name.
You're like a super beefcake. You're all beefy, but you're also super sad. Yeah.
I need you to come make me happy, girl. I'm gonna twerk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna twerk this thing for you, but I need you.
Come get.
Girl. Suicidal Beefcake, another show title. We're gonna do this. But yeah, I did that. But I didn't play very much of Frostpunk, so there really isn't anything new to discuss there.
Yeah, I watched our buddy Mach 20 play it for like a minute, and you're right. That game does look super depressing. Like he was like talking about should I use the children to like work and this or that? I was like, you're using children to work? Like, what kind of fucking game is this?
Shit's fucked up, dog. They asses is working in my. I put their ass to work immediately. Now I'm not having them do like crazy jobs though. Like I'm having to work like in the cookhouse, like preparing food and stuff like that. I'm not having them do nothing dangerous. Like you can switch it and make them do more dangerous work, but I ain't about to do that.
Yeah, your guys they're learning life lessons. They're learning how to cook and shit. You know, stuff that they need to survive. You're not be like, hey kid, go to this to the haunted forest and fight some bears.
Yeah, I really do want to play some RimWorld though. I had a hankering for some RimWorld, and I think at some point I want to just fuck around. I don't necessarily want to record any videos because I recorded videos of like just the regular base game, and that shit boring, dog.
You had a rim hankering.
Really?
I'm just trying to come up with show titles.
No, you're doing very terrible at it, actually. Yeah, I think you're doing very terrible at it.
Well, thank you very much.
What have you played? Have you played anything really?
Yeah, actually, it hasn't been too much. My son's birthday is coming up at the end of the month, so we kind of celebrated it a little bit this past weekend at our mom's house. And before, like a couple of years ago, we did like a little Rocket League tournament. There's an app on my phone to where I can make little tournaments, and it will like do the brackets and all that shit. So I always do it double elimination to where if they lose, they still got another chance type shit. So, but they still get freaking pissed at each other. But that was a Rocket League thing. But this time we did 2 nights. One night we did Battlefront 2, and that was interesting. That was fun. And then the second night we did Halo Combat Evolved, and that really showed me Halo still got it. Because during the Star Wars one, everyone was interested in it and they were having fun. But during Halo, when the other kid, because sometimes when the two kids are playing, the other kids are maybe off doing something, they were all intently watching that shit. Yeah, and I did it, on not Handsome Jack collection, the Master Chief collection, and if you do Halo Combat Evolved and you do Classic Slayer, it will be Classic Slayer with the old graphics, exactly as it was, and that was just cool as shit. To see that they were actually getting into the shit, and the dude was like, one of the kids was like, "How do you sprint?" I was like, "This is Halo, it was fucking sprint. What are you talking about?"
You're a walking fucking tank. What exactly do I need to sprint away from?
Right.
It cost several $1 billion to make this suit. Why do I need to run from anyone? Period. Fucking people who love sprint.
But yeah, I played in the Halo one, and of course I did win the tournament. But you
played against a whole bunch of kids.
The little dude, he during the end of it, man, he started getting the hang of it. He was like, shotguns are very effective. So he did beat me.
Not as effective as the pistol.
Yeah, I know. I was using the pistol, and then, but mostly I would use the assault rifle just so I'm not completely just like wrecking them. So, yeah. But yeah, he did beat me since it was double elimination. I still won, but if it wasn't, then he would have won.
So did you put them heads up, or do you put them all in one room?
Oh, it was just all in one room on the TV, split screen. Okay,
but Master Chief can't do 4 players, can it?
No, we did it 1 versus 1 in a double elimination tournament. So
yeah, I got something for that shotgun. That happened with my little cuz. My little cuz was playing Halo with his friends, and he thought that he was like doing very well. And this is when I was living with my cousin, and he thought he was doing pretty well because he was playing with his friends. But I'm like, yo, bruh, I've been playing Halo since like forever. Like, what do you really think is gonna happen? He was like, you cheating. I was like, okay, you tell me which weapon to use, and you can bring whatever you want. Like, I'll let you bring whatever you want to this fight, and let's see who walks away from this. And like, the only time he actually killed me is when I let him. And it's just like, he was just like, I can't stand you, I hate you, and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I got years of experience playing Halo. Like, this is like what's happening right now. It's not even like it's all really muscle memory.
Yeah.
I get back into Halo and it's just like, all right, I know exactly what I'm doing here. And it just feels right, with the exception of Halo 5. It all just kind of feels right.
Yeah, and you got to realize like how we're like average players. You know what I mean? Average to pretty good, and but when you if they go against like really like say my brother is like asinine good at freaking Halo.
My cousin was so good at Halo, it got him kicked out of college. He spent too much time perfecting his Halo as opposed to doing his schoolwork. So he failed out of school. He failed out of school for Halo.
So this is the same cousin that you schooled on?
No. This is another cousin.
Okay.
I got a pretty large family. Like my mom's side of the family is pretty large. It's a lot of us. And so like but my cousin Sean, he failed out of school for Halo reasons. But he is insanely good. Like insanely good at like just that type of stuff. He pretty much focuses on 2K these days. But like if you put him in a Halo match, it is very, and like the crazy part about it is he spent all that time just trying to be better than me. This was before the Scarfinger. You know what I mean? Like this is before the Scarfinger. This is back when I was the surgeon. Yeah. And you don't get to be called the surgeon by accident.
Right.
And so like and I even gave him his name. Like one of his nicknames was Hannibal. So I called him I call him Cannibal Lecter. So Hannibal the Cannibal, that type of thing. So I called him Cannibal Lecter, and that's been his gamer tag ever since.
It seems like maybe like Halo 3 or maybe Reach, well, on the multiplayer side, probably Halo 3 is that, and like maybe Counter-Strike are like the last of the like really hardcore esportsy games. Like all the other newer ones are like very
Modern
like perk based or what gun you use and all this stuff.
Modern Warfare 2 for me is the last of the last game that I put that kind of effort into.
Well, yeah, but those games were all based on what gun or class or perk combination you're using. When it comes to like Halo or Counter-Strike, it was so simple.
In the Modern Warfare,
all was based on skill.
No, in the Modern Warfare days, it was very much about which perks and which guns worked for you. After Modern Warfare 2, it became these perks and these guns combined make me a god among men.
Uh-huh.
I think it was very much preference, for pre, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, like that type of stuff. It was very much your preference. After that, it became this is the god role.
Right. But yeah, like for it to be like a legitimate like sport, it has to be so simple. There can't be these variables. They have to be completely based on skill. And that's how Halo was.
Not necessarily, because you had those people who had those timers on their phones. They had apps on their phones that would set the timers for when the weapons respawned and all kinds of shit like that. So like you knew, like, okay, so I got this much time, so I need to be heading in this direction because the sword is going to come back at this point. Like that type of stuff. Like you had people that got way too deep into it. I never really was that deep into it, but right. I knew.
Well, other than crazy shit like that,
I know some people who were
mostly
really
skill based.
Yeah, but I very much did know people who were about that life.
Well, Overwatch is pretty skill based, but that's like, other than that, there's really not much out there that's like very skill based. It's all, I don't know, because how I hear people talking about new Call of Duty and they're talking about loot boxes and stuff. Well, I'm getting killed by this gun and I don't have all the parts. I was like, what is this? Is this fucking Warframe? Like, right. Parts for a gun?
I mean, microtransactions just infected all of gaming, and even to the point to where it's like a big fucking thing now that they took out the microtransactions for Shadow of War.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they should have never been in a single player game to begin with.
Yeah, that's like Far Cry 5 has them, but they're so minor that like, why would you ever spend your money on this shit? Because half the shit I've unlocked just playing the game.
Right.
Like, because my friend Husky, he bought some of the silver. I think it came with it or something, or he just had a little extra credit on his PlayStation account because he bought it a certain way. So he's like, oh yeah, I'll just buy some silver. So he got it, and he was like, he has never spent it because, like, why Woody because everything's a lot cheaper just to buy it with in-game money you earn. Like, it's like really weird why it's even in the game.
Right.
I guess it's just for the random person that would buy it.
All right. You want to get?
But I did play one more thing, which you probably don't care. But I did play some more Persona 5, which has been like a year since I popped that game in, and it was mostly due to the fact that when I was playing it hardcore, Amber was in her first trimester, so her seeing that game made her like nauseous, just because it was like mental association. The same thing happened to Mass Effect Andromeda too. So now it's the baby's here. Everything's cool. She's like, every now and again, it's like, ooh, she gets like a certain thing of come up on the screen and be like, oh, that reminds me. But like, it's not nearly as bad. So I started playing it again, and I started a second playthrough like last year, but I just stopped because of that. And it's kind of reminded me how good that game is. But so I played it a little bit while we were on vacation. For one, it's a super easy game to play when you have other shit going on because it's constantly in pause mode. You can just pretty much get up whenever.
Yeah, I understand.
So yeah.
All right. So anything you want to discuss before we wrap this up, because we're already at an hour.
Cool. Yeah, the only thing I've been watching is trying to slowly get through the second season of My Hero Academia, but I just catch an episode when I can, because mostly if I'm free, I'm going to play a video game. If I'm not, then I'm not free. You know what I mean? And I kind of want to pay attention if things are going on in the background. It's kind of hard for me to pay attention to something like that. So yeah, just kind of doing that. And as of new music, the new Sleep album is fucking amazing. And which is kind of crazy because they haven't released an album since like the 90s. Technically, Dope Smoker was released in 2003, but it's the same album as an album called Jerusalem. But on the album Jerusalem, it was cut up in different tracks, which is how the band wanted it to be. So, but the label wanted them to do that way, so they re-released it in 2003 as Dope Smoker, which is just one song. So just 1 hour and almost an hour, a little over like an hour and 3 minute song. But they haven't released anything since then because one of the members went to form a band called High on Fire, and the other member went to go form a band called And this new album kind of takes what they've done in those two bands and what they've done in Sleep and makes just this one amazing stoner metal album, and it's super fucking stoner. Like, it's like really stoner. Okay. I mean, there's a song on it called, well, the cover of the album is an astronaut hooked up to like a big bud in space. And there's a song on it called The Marijuana Knot. And there's so it's super stoner, but it's really good. Okay. So yeah.
I don't think I listened to anything really new. I mean, just a song. I saw the video for that Childish Gambino joint. Mm-hmm. I think it's cool. I think the video is really cool, but the song it's okay. I don't love the song. It's cool though.
It's not trap enough.
No, it's very trap. It's just not. It's just okay. I guess.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
But I haven't really listened to a whole lot. I haven't had time, like, really. I completely forgot about the show today until, like, 10 minutes before. I was painting. Yeah. Like, I was painting. Like I say, I made that second painting based off of Detroit's specifications, and then I just decided to add some red to it, and I flip cupped it again. I'll post pictures today. But yeah, man, it's just been thing after thing, and I'll be so happy this time tomorrow when I'm done until Monday.
Cool. Yeah, I guess we can get into some shout-outs. Always shout out Gaming History X because, that's a awesome podcast, and Future Monkeys, Bad Fodder Figures. Oh, Agent Orange. I actually, this is one thing I didn't mention is he actually asked me about the New England IPAs I've been, because he had tried both of them that I tried, and I think I do like the New Belgium more because it actually tastes like what I would think the New England IPA would taste like, which is more, it's not as like super bitter as like an IPA, but it's more like citrus fruits, and it's super hazy because it's unfiltered. When the Sierra Nevada version, or their New England IPA, she has a sick sense of humor. She's over here with fire arrows, shooting them at the cultists, and as they burn and fly away and run off and scream in pain, she's just laughing. Okay. She's playing Far Cry 5. But anyway, yeah, the Sierra Nevada version, it just tastes like a really good IPA, which I mean, it's not bad. It just doesn't seem like what I would say is, this New England style. But yeah. So yeah, that was a shout out to Agent Orange. Ron Blocker, because he won the shit, won the painting. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Detroit, because pain. More pain.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get more work, more people suggesting things, and that's dope.
Cool.
So, as for me, shout out to all the people, man. No, just shout out to my man Sam. That's my dude, and hopefully that's one of the people that I want to try to get on at some point. So, shout out to Sam.
Cool.
All right, so we can go ahead and wrap this up. I am sleepy.
I'm sleepy too. I just drove like 5 hours.
Oh shit! All right. So for the homie Chase, I'm Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm. We're out of here. Peace. Bye. Go to sleep.
Later.
Peace out to the Warriors. Sleep time.
Sleep time.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.